Starfox Assault. You could just hear the enthusiasm, can't you? So why am I reviewing a GameCube game that was released in 2005 and pretty much considered to be a mediocre game? Well, let me explain. When I was a kid, about 9 years old, I got my first proper home console. And I got Mario All-Stars with it, Super Nintendo. Mario All-Stars was obviously fantastic. But the game that really got it hooks into me was Starwing. I remember getting my mates round on my birthday, chocolate cake round our mouths, arguing over who was going to get the next go. It was something unlike anything I had ever played before. So, you can imagine when this game was first announced, I was pretty excited. But when it came out, I was put off by negative reviews as I'm just a shallow idiot who does whatever the magazines tell me to do, and the game's just slipped out of my mind. But recently, for some reason, this game resurfaced in my mind, and I thought, well, maybe I should give it a chance. So, I got a copy, loaded it up, and you could see this amazing cutscene. Fantastic. And I thought, my god, could this actually be good? Could this actually be amazing? Maybe the critics got it wrong. You never know. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. If they can get a blue female anthropomorphized fox in this game and try and make her look attractive, then, well, anything's possible. But fanboy gripes aside, and when you're all pumped from that initial cutscene, the opening level starts and it just looks stunning. But the problem with reviewing games, as many of you will know, is that you have to curb your enthusiasm. Now, I don't know a single person that hasn't played this first level and just hasn't been totally swept away in the drama of it all, and it does look absolutely incredible. And the first level is genuinely very good. There are a few issues with clipping and stuff like that, but it's all very minor stuff, and you can overlook it at this point when it's all just pulled off with such confidence and such reverence for the older Star Fox games. And you go into the later shooting sections with an open mind thinking, well, these could be good too. Now, to be fair on the game, these sections aren't entirely awful, they're just very awkward to control. And they can be mastered with time, but that's not time you wanted to spend running around shooting guys. These sections unfortunately do make up the vast majority of the game. Most of the game you will be running around shooting these pathetic looking purple alien bug Borg things. Then you get the Landmaster tank. Way! Remember that from the 64 game? Things could be looking up. Good to see the transmission. Yeah, that's how I feel, Fox. The whole point of having a tank in the game is that feeling of power you get from driving something, just charging through enemies, running them down. With this, you just feel kind of limp and ineffective. I mean, the shots it fires are fairly powerful, but there's just no impact, there's no power to it, there's no real feedback to what you're doing. It just doesn't feel right. And then later on you do get back to these lovely shooting sections, but you start to notice that maybe they're not as polished as you originally thought. But more on that later. Here you can see me trying to get up this little raised platform, and then deciding it's not worth the bother and just going around. So none of the problems that the shooting controls and the tank control has are really insurmountable, but you have to have a great deal of time and patience to master the dodgy controls. And it's time I really wanted to spend shooting people in a ship. I mean, I knew that was what I was getting with this game, but I just didn't expect it to be the whole game. Only 3 of the missions are on rails. And even the later ones of those don't really come up to the standards of old games. The camera will jerk around and you'll be sent slamming into a wall or an obstacle. And the final mission is almost entirely set in a series of boring, purple vomit-coloured corridors. And the story, well, some things are not even worth talking about. The worst insult of all is once you got through those first missions, you grin and bear it and you get through it and you think, alright, this next mission they've got to give me a ship, they've got to give me something to fly around with. And they do give you a ship. But the problem is, it's absolutely no good to you. Because all the things you need to destroy are in this base. You're getting molested, you're falling off things you can't even see. And you just think, oh, bugger this. I'm off, I'm in my airship. I'm going. Screw you. And then the pool of mediocrity kind of temporarily falls away, but it's soured by the knowledge that eventually you know you're going to have to get out and walk. Which brings me back to my original point. Why am I playing this game? Why, if it's so unenjoyable? Is it for the nostalgia? Is it some kind of obsessive need to experience every game of this franchise? Well, maybe. But I think it's more that, with things are going the way they are at Nintendo, this may be the last Star Fox game on a home console. And judging from this, that might be for the best.